Hi, it's Julie Mulligan from 1-800-Flowers.com. The holiday season is upon us, and it's a decorator's dream. I'm going to show you how to do a few projects today and share some insider tips from the floral world so that you'll be able to decorate your home in whatever style you choose. Modern, traditional, vintage. We're just going to have some fun with it and make some great holiday decorations. A fireplace mantle is the perfect stage for a holiday vignette. Many times people think the best way to go is with a garland across the top. And it looks very nice, but you have to put nails into your mantle, and it's not in any kind of water source. Now these individual arrangements that I did, they're in an igloo, which is foam that's been thoroughly soaked in water so they stay fresh longer. You can change them out when need be without having to take down a whole garland. And then it allows me to move them around and put them where I want, depending on how wide my fireplace might be. I love to combine old and new. So I have some old Santa and me pictures of my brothers and sisters and I when we were little. And this year I'm really into birds, so I picked up a few silver birds to really complement the beautiful silver garland that my grandma left for me. And the silver julep cups, traditional red and green flowers, but with a twist, using the green cymbidium orchids, which is a little bit different for the holidays. And then you can just really make it your own. Take your holiday treasures that you bring out every year that have been in your family for generations, or things that you buy this year, and really take some of these tips and a few candles, and you have the perfect mantle for your holidays. Now that we've seen how beautiful you can make your mantle look using a few individual pieces, I'd like to show you in particular ways to make the julep cup arrangement and the evergreen arrangement. The julep cup, I find to get the nice tight arrangement that stays where you want it, I prefer to use floral foam. It comes in a brick this size and easily is cut down to whatever size you need. So after you cut the shape you need, soak it in the sink, make sure it really drinks up all of the water, and keep it about a ½ inch above the rim of the julep cup. This will allow you to put the flowers low, because on a mantle people are looking up at it slightly, so you want to have your flowers down low, not all sticking straight up. So you need your short stem red roses, evergreens, and cymbidium orchids. You can buy them an entire stem like this, which is usually a little more economical than buying individual. And they just easily cut off from the main stem, and you can insert them in the foam also. On the evergreen centerpiece, again I used foam. This time it's called an igloo, and because of the shape, and it's in this plastic cage. Drop this in the sink full of water also, and let it get nice and wet, and then use a variety of evergreens. I've used pine, balsam, juniper, and cedar. Nice mixture for nice different textures. Using a sharp clippers, just cut it the size that you need, and it inserts very easily into the foam. So depending on where you're placing it, how wide your mantle is, you create the shape. You can make it longer on one side to hang down a little bit. It's very simple, keeps your evergreens lasting for a couple of weeks. You can spritz them with a little water, keep them even fresher. It's really easy, and have a lot of fun making yours. Doesn't this table look beautiful? I started with the Chelsea Christmas, which is in my collection this year, for the centerpiece, and I wanted to keep the table clean and simple, a little bit of a modern look. So I just took pears and little dendrobium orchids, accented with pine cones, and made little name cards to decorate each plate a little bit and use it as a place card holder. It's really so simple to do. As beautiful as it looks, it's really very easy. And I want to show you how. Come on, let's go. As beautiful and as elegant as that table setting looked, you're not going to believe how easy it is to accomplish. You really can do it in a snap. You probably would only need one stem of the dendrobium orchids, because there's usually 10 to 12 flowers on a stem, and a couple of stems of western cedar. It lays nice and flat on the plate. Pears, Be sure when you're buying your pears, you try them, make sure they're ones that stand up nice. Little name cards and pine cones for accents. So you take the Western cedar first and just put a little on a plate. I like to use just a nice clean white plate so that this stays all very modern and clean looking. You put your pear on there, take the name cards that you've already prepared, and I love this brown and green combination. To me, it's just a very fun modern look. When you take the Dendrobium orchids off of the stem, leave a little bit of the stem, take it right down at the base, because this allows you to just clip it on right there basically. You also could use a little hot glue to hold it on if you wanted. And I like to put the little pine cone. It just gives this nice winter feel, picks up the brown in the name card, and did I tell you it was easy? Beautiful, isn't it? You know, you really don't have to go outside when it's cold and snowy just to make a snowman. Not when you can make one out of carnations, like my friend here. I'm really getting kind of attached to him. Do you want to know how I made him? Make one of your own? I'm going to show you how. Come on, let's go. Don't you love these snowmen? Everyone has so much fun with them. Big kids, small kids, and you can make big snowmen, small snowmen. I'll tell you what the basic components are and how to make it, and then you can take it and you can do what you want with it. I find every snowman I make or I see made has a different personality, and that's what's so much fun when you see it all together in the end. So you need foam. All my projects seem to start with foam. You can buy them in this sphere shape, or you can use the bricks and just cut them up to the size that you need. You really shouldn't go much bigger than this. This is a 4.5 inch. And how you make the bottom one bigger is to use the standard size carnations, and then for the middle and the head you would use the mini carnations. You just pick up some branches from outside for the arms, use a little carrot, mini carrot for the nose, pom-poms or buttons for the eyes, and you can just wire these on with your basic, craft floral wire, and a stick for the center because it kind of holds it all together. Now on the bottom one, I recommend that you cut the bottom off so that it sits flat. Also, I recommend using a plate with a little bit of a lip, because these have been thoroughly soaked, and as you add flowers, some of the water comes out. You don't need to use a pedestal, but it should have a lip. Now, the way you create the indentation, I found, was to put the flowers all the way around, not just on the sides, because this then makes it really look like the snowballs that you create. And after you've put all the standard carnations on the bottom, put your stick in, and then take the middle one and add the carnations while you're holding it in your hand, filling up half of the ball. And then you would just insert that down and finish the top, and then do the same thing with the smaller piece, which would be the head. And you don't need to put the carnations on the top of this sphere, because usually you're putting a hat. The snowman's out in the cold, he needs to stay warm, and a flatter surface is better for the hat. Now, I said you can make these any sizes, and as we all know, behind every great man there's a strong woman. So here's little Snow Dame. She's a red hatter. She likes to have a lot of fun, and you will too when you make a flower snowman. Don't you love this wreath? I really got the inspiration for this from these vintage ornaments, the old shiny bright ornaments. I have a few from my childhood, but I also pick them up whenever I see them at a garage sale or a flea market. I just love the feeling that it gives me. It just reminds me of my Christmases when I was a little girl. And I love the colors. You think of red and green usually as traditional Christmas colors, but these go more into the blues and the pinks and the yellows and the greens. So that's what I did with the flowers that I put in. This looks great on a front door. Such a welcoming look to somebody, and It sets the tone right away. They know they're walking into a creative home. It really works perfectly anywhere. And it's very simple to put together. I'll show you how right now. And then you can take these ideas and you can make them your own. You start with a grapevine wreath that you pick up at a craft store. And what's great about this is that you can insert all of your flowers and evergreens wherever you need them. You'll need a mixture of evergreens, pine and cedar and balsam, some colored roses that match your ornaments and your garland, and then flowers like the statice and the wax flower. This dries really nicely, so you don't have to worry about putting these into the water tubes like I've done with the roses. You can pick these up at a florist or a craft store. Just fill them up with water and put the roses right in, and it'll help your roses last a little bit longer. I find that the colored roses dry out really nicely too. So even after they've passed their prime, they'll take on even more of a vintage look, and it just works with the whole wreath. So you take the evergreens, and you really just have to push them in between the branches here in the wreath. It's very easy. And evergreens dry out pretty quickly, but you can't even tell. So they just look nice. They keep their shape. You do the same thing with the water tubes. It can just go right in between some of the branches. You take your ornaments using little wires. You can attach your ornaments wherever you want. The same thing with the garland. Just put a little wire on the end. You can wrap it around. You can just place it wherever you want. And you just keep going until you get the shape you want. You can just put a little splash up here and keep the bottom plain. It's your wreath. You do it your way, and no matter how you do it, you're going to love it, and it's going to look beautiful. I hope you enjoyed the projects we did here today. Take some of the ideas, make them your own, have fun with them, spend some time with family, with friends, reconnect, and please everyone, have a very, very happy holiday.